one of the greatest women's wrestlers alive. Suddenly, the most criticized. Why? Too many titles? Too much shine? Or is it just that people hate when a woman writes her own story? This is the story of how one woman walked away from the biggest company in wrestling with nothing but her name, her ambition, and her love for the sport, and somehow flipped the whole game on its head. Against the odds, against the critics, and against the system. Mercedes Moné made a bet on herself, and now she's holding championships in multiple countries, breaking records, and rewrites the blueprint for what a women's wrestling career can actually look like. Some people hate it, some people can't stop watching, but the thing you need to know is there's a reason behind everything she's doing right now. And when you see the full picture, it makes more sense than you think. Now, I get it. I see the criticisms. People are saying she's collecting too many titles, or she's turning into Mercedes Hogan, or that she's just doing a knockoff of Kenny Omega's belt collector run. That's all well and good, and you're allowed to feel that way. But I want to tell you why such criticisms don't hold much weight. But first, what is it that made Mercedes so controversial? It's simple. First of all, she walked out of WWE. That alone made her enemy number one for a lot of hardcore WWE fans who view her as ungrateful or entitled. It doesn't help she's a black woman with creative input. Look, let's not dance around it. Wrestling has always had an extra layer of scrutiny for women, especially black women, who don't play by the usual script. I mean, Brock Lesnar once walked out on WWE too. Instead, he got a parade upon his return. Interesting, but not surprising. Another thing is, she's winning everywhere. AEW, CMLL, Rev Pro, New Japan, 6 belts at once. And to some people, when a wrestler wins too much, they immediately scream burying the division or selfish booking. But here's the thing nobody wants to admit that gets lost in the shuffle. Mercedes didn't build this by accident. This is all intentional, calculated. Let me explain. You see, when Mercedes left WWE back in 2022, it wasn't just a career change for her alone. That was her rewriting the blueprint of how women's wrestling careers can look like outside the bubble of WWE. She went to Japan, won the IWGP Women's title, brought Western eyes to Stardom and New Japan, and then, when she finally showed up in AEW, she immediately became a cornerstone of the women's division. Okay, all that is well and good, but why so many belts? Why all the titles? Because now, when she loses, those losses will be significant. Think about it. It's simple wrestling math. If you beat someone who's been booked as unbeatable, that win launches your career. They are building her up now, so later on she could help build the rest of the roster even more. And in the process, the next generation of AEW's women's stars are elevated with her. It's not conventional, yes, but it is something different. I mean, come on, this is long-term storytelling everyone claims to love. She's defending belts across the world, helping AEW build bridges with other promotions. AEW is about cooperation. WWE will just buy you out. What I'm saying is, This isn't just about Mercedes, it's about ecosystem building. And yes, you can scream belt collector knockoff all you want, but here's where that falls apart. Kenny's belt collector run was designed to make him look like an outlaw crossing promotional lines, causing chaos everywhere he went. It was a heel move meant to make him a villain across promotions. Mercedes' run is different. This is about representation. This is about being the first. She's the only woman to ever win this combination of titles across the US, Japan, Mexico, and the UK. This is not belt collector light. This is history, and she's doing it in her prime. And as for the claims that she's burying other talents, just stop. Look at who she's been in the ring with in AEW. Statlander, Willow, Stephanie, Hazuki, Athena, and now she's facing Toni Storm at All In. You don't think beating Mercedes at the peak of her career is going to be a big moment for whoever finally does it? Whether that's Toni or someone else, this is how you make stars. And let's not forget, Mercedes hasn't ducked competition. She's been wrestling injured, traveling, putting eyes on promotions that never got this kind of spotlight before. Besides, I didn't see you all complain when Roman was being booked to beat everyone, even when it didn't make sense anymore story-wise. So what's the problem here? That's for you to answer. The real story here is that Mercedes is crafting a legacy that's bigger than one promotion. When she walked out of WWE, people thought she was making a mistake. Now, she's the highest paid female wrestler on the planet. She's holding titles across continents, and most importantly, she's proving that women's wrestling doesn't have to be contained in one company's version of success. For years, wrestlers said they wanted to make the change. Mercedes is actually doing it in AEW. So yes, people are going to call her Mercedes Hogan or whatever cute nickname they've come up with this week. But honestly, I'm cool with that. Because if the price of alleged creative control, generational matches, and historic accomplishments comes with internet hate, then Mercedes Moné has already won.
I have goosebumps thinking about it. Wrestling has saved my life, has changed my life, has brought me so many different opportunities and let me live out my dreams. And the fact that I am the first woman to wrestle in all of the major, incredible, historic arenas, I really have no words for it.